You see, when I woke up this morning, I had a direct line to God. Direct line. And God asked me, my son, what do you want? I said, Lord, I could have asked for anything. I could have asked for the US to not invade Nigeria like they plan to. I could have asked for riches, wealth, women, flat stomach, Chelsea winning the Premier League. But what did I ask for? I asked for Trent Alexander-Arnold to score a 97th minute winner for Real Madrid against Liverpool on Tuesday. 1-0 in a game where Liverpool dominates but can't score. In a game where Liverpool dominates proceedings and miss chance after chance after chance after chance. And Arnold scores a 97th minute free kick to win the game from 30 yards and celebrates in front of the cup end, takes his shirt off, flexes his muscle, speaks English, says suck my balls in Spanish. That's what I want. A long week of sporting action, and of course, every Monday I'm here to dissect it down with you and have you great sporting conversations. But first, as usual, I'll be starting with my highlight of the sporting weekend. And in case you are wondering what I'm wearing for our YouTube watchers, thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate your commitment to the cause. And our listeners on Spotify as well, we are much appreciated. But if you are wondering what I'm wearing, in the spirit of Halloween, I decided to rep both of my teams at once. I have on a shirt, a jersey by my team, Atlantic Business Football Club. And then I have on the muffler of Chelsea Football Club, my first love. So those are my two teams, home and abroad. As you can see, blue is the color, football is the game, winning is our aim. That's what we do. And ABFC made my weekend. If you are a Lagosian, or you are a Sporting Lagos fan, or you just like Sporting Lagos as a brand, tune away now, it's fine. Or eat that 15-second skip button that's on YouTube and Spotify. Eat it very well, eat it, because I'm about to dance on your graves. 6-0, we load them waiting no good. Atlantic Business FC, match day 8 of the TCC League season, took on Sporting Lagos, and we're just 2 points ahead of Sporting Lagos. We're second on the table. We are still second on the table, but before the game happened, we're just 2 points ahead of Sporting Lagos. So it was supposed to be a close game, even though the ABFC has a game in hand. But it's definitely, I can't say that a lot of people saw 6-0 coming, but that's what God's own team does. We didn't play last week, so that pent-up energy that we're supposed to unleash on Imperial gave everything to Sporting Lagos, and they accepted it. 6-0, then Donald Godwin with 2 goals, Olumide with 2 goals, Benga Johnson with a goal, Kennedy Moses with a goal. If you are not familiar with what TCC is, first of all, which rock have you been hiding under? On your location in the comments, let's find you via GPS. Secondly, let me educate you and let you know that the TCC is the foremost, number one, numero uno, prime developmental league in Nigerian football, containing teams like Atlantic Business Football Club, who just beat Sporting Lagos Football Academy by 6 goals to 0. I mentioned Sporting Lagos already. Beyond Limits, who are in many people's eyes, the crown jewel of Nigerian youth football in terms of their exploits on the Viareggio Cup and all that. So there are lots of teams that will make you proud. And guess what? They are scattered all around the western axis of Nigeria. So if you love grassroots football, if you just want an opportunity to watch football in person, week in, week out, nobody's charging you anything. Rock up to any of these games. If you are based in Lagos, go and watch Sporting Lagos, go and watch Bagada FC. They play a legacy pitch in Surulere. So if you're around Surulere, you can check Surulere. Surulere is very central in Lagos. You can check there. Check the CCC pages on Saturday and Sunday. At least one of those teams will be playing at home. So if you are based in Lagos, go and watch. If you are not based in Lagos, there are games in Ogun State. Lots of teams are based in Ogun State. So you find something to do and you will enjoy yourself. This is there for everybody. So that was the highlight of my Sunday. because that game was early on Sunday morning. I want to beat them 6-0. And the highlight of my Saturday was brought by my other team, Chelsea Football Club. Is it at this point? Is it even an highlight? Yeah, Chelsea beat Tottenham, but Chelsea are always beating Tottenham. Chelsea stay beating Tottenham. 1-0 it ended this time around at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or should I say, at the Chelsea Football Club Stadium. We have renamed it. We have claimed it. We are dominating. A single goal, João Pedro's goal in the first half was all she wrote from Chelsea's perspective and from Spurs' perspective as well. Meaning Chelsea have now won 5 consecutive games against Tottenham Hotspurs. Not very, very rivalry feeling, if you ask me. It's supposed to be a derby, it's supposed to be a London derby, it's supposed to be a clash of equals, but Chelsea and Tottenham are not equal in any way, shape, or form. If my bias is showing, I'm sorry, but it's well justified. 5 wins in a row, like I mentioned. The last time Tottenham beat Chelsea in a football game, I'll give you 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time Tottenham beat Chelsea in a football game, they won 2-0 in 2023. Oliver Skip scored the first goal for Tottenham Hotspur. The second goal was scored by Harry Kane, assisted by Eric Dyer, which will let you know how long ago this was. Oliver Skip, I don't even know if he's still playing football. Of course, he still plays. I think he's at Leicester City. I'm just joking around. Eric Dyer at Monaco nowadays. Harry Kane, of course, doing exploits at Bayern Munich. So this is Dante. And even that win is their only win against Chelsea in any competition during regulation time since 2019. So this is not a fixture that scares me as a Chelsea fan. I saw lots of Chelsea fans fretting on it. Like, oh, can we beat this Tottenham? Blah, blah. Tottenham. The day I fear Tottenham before a football game, revoke my Chelsea fan license. The day I go into a game against Tottenham and I start panicking against Spurs. Nah, fam, never happening. But back to the game on Saturday, the late kickoff, because there was a later kickoff. But yeah, João Pedro with the goal, but it didn't feel as triumphant as it should have felt, because João Pedro had been on a dip in form for quite a while, and that goal should have felt like a resuscitation. But even within that game that he scored, he missed 2 other clear-cut chances, and I'm even being generous. He should have scored at least a hat-trick in this game. Chelsea should have won by more than a goal to nil. So it doesn't feel as good as it should have felt. Moises Caicedo, on the other hand, phantasma. Great, incredibly. Look, at this point, I've run out of superlatives for Caicedo. I've been very, very clear that we are looking at a top 5 midfielder in the world right now. We are looking at a top 5 midfielder in the world right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a drill. Forget that I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm objective as can be. Moises Caicedo, you cannot name 5 midfielders playing football right now. And I say midfielders very, very clearly. I did not say defensive midfielders. I'm not comparing him to defensive midfielders. I'm saying midfielders. So bring your Pedris, bring your Bellinghams, bring your Vitinhas. Name 5 midfielders that are better than Caicedo at this moment. Speak. But that's not even what I was talking about with Caicedo. Of course, with the way football conversations are set up nowadays, everybody that's doing well must be compared to somebody. It's just what it is. I'm sick of it, but I also understand that that's just the terrain that we are in right now. And Moises Caicedo, who has been so good, fans have now run out of who to compare him to among, current players of his ilk. They are now comparing him to N'Golo Kante. And in fact, I saw a few tweets that said Caicedo is already better than Kante ever was. And it broke me. Let's see, internet talk doesn't mean much to me. If you know me personally, it doesn't really mean much to me. But this one affected me. What do you mean? I love Caicedo as much as the next man. But if you pay 115 million to sign a midfielder, this is what he should be doing. Doesn't mean we will not still give him his flowers, but he's doing what his price tag demands him to do. Kante, on the other hand, even though they are similar, I see the need for the comparison. These are 2 similar footballers, similar sets of skills. But when you evaluate them, like, put them under the microscope, Kante was faster. Kante was probably stronger. That one is contestable. Kante definitely had way more energy. That saying, even though we knew it was not true, it was always cruise, but we still went along with it anyway. 70% of the world is covered by water, and the rest is covered by N'Golo Kante, whatever that quote was. It existed for a reason. N'Golo Kante was so good that without him, Leicester City do not win the Premier League. Without him, Chelsea do not win the Premier League in 2016-17. So this is a player that has not only contributed to winning one Premier League, but 2 Premier League titles, like vital contribution, like player of the season caliber seasons on both occasions for 2 different teams, including Leicester City. I think that should be enough to put you ahead of Moises Caicedo, who, as we speak, has still not been part of a winning team. If you call Club World Cup, God will punish you. Stop it. Let's be for real. Let's have serious football conversations. So let's stay within pockets. But that's the point. I think that Caicedo is very good. Who knows? Caicedo may yet retire, greater than Kante. In my opinion, what Caicedo needs to have over Kante is longevity. Because as great as Kante was, if you look at how long was Kante really Kante? If you want to look at it, critically acclaim it, you say maybe from 2013, and that's being generous, from 2013 to 2018, that's a 5-year span max, and that is very best. So if Caicedo can give at least a decade of excellence at this level, you will say he has already beaten Kante, at least on the front of consistency, of longevity, and which is very possible. Caicedo is in his early 20s, so it still has a lot of football ahead of him. So he's on the right track. I just think it's too early to be calling Kante out for comparisons at the moment. Football fans need to learn to calm down. Enjoy. What is the need for instant gratification? Once anything is good like this, we have to now take it to the max. Calm down and enjoy the moment first. As a Chelsea fan, I am immensely grateful that in my 20 years of supporting this club, 20 plus years now, I've gone from Makalele to Michael Essien to Ramirez to Kante to now Moises Caicedo. Those are basically not entirely the same type of player, but like they have similar profiles and all of high quality. That is not easy to do. So I would like to appreciate that instead of putting them up against each other and trying to drag one's name through the mud to make the other one look much better. So that's my summation on N'Golo Kante versus Moises Caicedo. I don't think it should even be a thing, at least not right now. At least not until Caicedo, has a bit more time to prove himself. Anyway, yeah. So nothing like a good old comparison rant to start the episode. So let's move on to the next story. Earlier in the week, a scandal rocked Turkish football. Turkish referees were outed as bettors. I'm sure I don't need to tell you why that is a problem. As referees, you should not be indulging in sports betting, especially not as active referees. Anyway, according to an article on Pulse Sports written by one Ayola Kelechi, as many as 149 referees have been suspended in Turkey as the TFF clamps down on gambling among officials. Turkish football has been thrown into chaos after the Turkish Football Federation, TFF, announced the suspension of 149 referees as part of an explosive betting scandal that has sent shockwaves through the sport, with investigations revealing widespread gambling activity among match officials. The scandal marks one of the most damaging ethical crises in the history of Turkish football, which is crazy because Jose Mourinho implied this last season, and the Turkish FA and the entire well-wishers of Turkish football wanted his head for it because I understand it too. It's a serious allegation to make. You can't. It incredibly impacts the credibility of the league. Rhyming, Vector the Viper. Credibility incredible. Anyway, according to the TFF president Ibrahim Asyomanoglu, I'm sorry if I murdered your name, the investigation uncovered that 3 371. 371 of the country's 571 registered referees held betting accounts. That 371 out of 571. There are way more referees in Turkey with betting accounts than referees without betting accounts. That's crazy. My math is not good, but that's like 60%. That's like 60% or more of every single registered referee in Turkish football has an active betting account. That is crazy. That is insane. With 152 of those 371 actively gambling on matches. So 152 referees in Turkey as we speak, they follow us. Do what is cash out. They are following us to check Alpha. Let me drop that code. Alpha, wait till you carry Galatasaray as I learned about this weekend because Galatasaray play goalless. Alpha, wait till you give Istanbul Bakaskir. That's what Turkish referees are doing. 152 of them. This is not a few bad eggs. 152 of them are actively gambling on matches, including high-level fixtures. This is crazy. He reviewed cases ranging from one-time bets to breathtaking extremes, such as one referee placing 18,227 wagers. Jesus Christ. One referee. First of all, I'd like to take this moment in time to cuss out my close friends who have labeled me a gambler. I'm sure that in all my years, people that routinely insist that I have a gambling problem, which I don't. I'm sure that's what someone that has a gambling problem will say, but that is absolutely not what is going on here. Anyway, if there's somebody out there that has a job, a reputable job like being a football referee, a well-paying job in Turkish football, and has placed 18,227 wagers, I give up. There's nothing else to say about this. 42 more referees have placed more than 1,000 bets each. So they are weeding out who is the Bontarigi of betting among them, and who was just betting passively. In a firm address, Akinsanmiro declared, and I quote, "There is a moral crisis in Turkish football." You don't say. "The fundamental problem is an ethical one," adding that the federation relied on state-sourced data to expose the violations. The TFF published the full list of suspended officials and indicated that sanctions were determined based on the severity of each case. Findings have also been forwarded to FIFA and UEFA, underlining the magnitude of the scandal. The revelations have sparked intense fallout, with major clubs and figures weighing in. Fenerbahce representatives, long vocal critics of alleged referee manipulation, described the scandal as validation of their claims. I mentioned that earlier with Jose Mourinho being involved last season. Former manager like Jose Mourinho, look at that. This Ayola Kelechi fellow knows what he's doing. Former managers like Jose Mourinho, who previously hinted at systemic corruption in Turkish officiating, now appear vindicated. Turkish prosecutors have already merged multiple investigations into a broader probe that may soon implicate footballers and club personnel. I'm sat with journalist Murat Agirel warning that this is just the beginning. As the TFF braces for legal proceedings and long-term reform, Turkish football stands on the brink of major structural changes that could determine whether the league emerges stronger or remains overshadowed by mistrust and controversy. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow football investors, it is time to stay away from Turkey for now. At least until the coast clears. At least until the heat dies down. It was exemplary in the Galatasaray Trabzonspor game this weekend, when that game ruined everybody's hopes and expectations. You see, this is what I'm saying. If you have 371 referees in your league, in your country, with an active betting account. And it is not a serious country. It's not a serious league. There's no other way. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. One of the referees has over 18,000 bets. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say other than I don't see how Turkish football can ever fully recover from this. It's just as difficult as trying to put toothpaste back into the tube. It's what's done is done. People are not just going to forget that over 60% of your referee workforce are gamblers. Referees should not even be betting on anything in the first place. But even if they want to, because I don't think the law forbids them from betting in general, the law specifically forbids them from football betting. Maybe even sports betting in general, but football betting, because you are a football referee, you shouldn't be betting on things that you can potentially influence. And you would think this would go without saying, but one brother was out there placing 18,000 bets. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Anyway, congratulations to everybody involved. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. And I mentioned Galatasaray versus Trabzonspor earlier, the battle of the two Nigerian strikers, Victor Osimhen and Paul Onuachu. Neither of them scored. The game ended goalless. And now we'll probably be seeing, if not both of them, then at least one of them in the next 2 weeks when Nigeria takes on Gabon. The day of reckoning nears. The date has been confirmed, November 13. It's a 4 p.m. kickoff, if I'm not mistaken, in Morocco. Nigeria versus Gabon. Can we do it? Can it be done? Can the Super Eagles win? Because it's win or bust. If you don't win, there's no makeover. This time around, they're not going to remove points from anybody to help us. This time around, there's no amount of prayer that will stop it. If we lose that game, we are out. That's all it is. That's all you need to know. And there are a few updates regarding that particular fixture, which we will get to just about now. And the most important one is that VAR has finally now been introduced to the World Cup qualifying system. The actual qualifiers that will play the 10 games did not have VAR. And it worked to advantage sometimes, and it did not some other times. But it mostly worked to advantage if you want to be honest here. But there was no VAR in those 10 games. Now, CAF has confirmed there will be VAR in Morocco for the 3 games. The semi-final between Congo and Cameroon, and Nigeria and Gabon, and then the final between any of the 2 teams that wins both of those games. So there's nowhere to hide. Nigeria's path to the 2026 FIFA World Cup just took a dramatic turn as CAF confirmed that video assistant referee technology will be deployed for this month's playoff series, with the Super Eagles gearing up for a tense showdown against Gabon in Morocco. Every decision could now be reviewed that could prove pivotal after months of controversial calls. Unlike the main African qualifiers where VAR was absent throughout, the playoffs will feature full video review, meaning every big moment will be scrutinized. Nigeria finished second in Group C but progressed to the playoffs as one of Africa's best runners-up, earning a spot in a 4-team knockout battle. They will take on Gabon first, and if victorious, face the winner between DR Congo and Cameroon for a ticket to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Many believe the introduction of VAR could be a game changer, especially considering the incidents Nigeria endured during qualifying. Decisions that went against the Super Eagles include questionable offside calls that wiped out Ademola Lookman's goals and heavy challenges like the one that caused Victor Osimhen's injury against Rwanda, stirred frustration amongst fans and officials. By contrast, CAF's decision also means Nigeria's goal, like Calvin Bassey's controversial strike against South Africa or Osimhen's early goal versus Benin Republic, would not have stood uncontested in a playoff with no room for error. Technology could swing fates in seconds. The stakes are enormous for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who could fail to qualify for the World Cup for a second consecutive time. That's a nightmare scenario. We have been granted a second chance, many believed to be unwarranted, unprecedented, and undeserved. And I'm not even, if you are from Burkina Faso, and you believe that, I'm not going to argue with you. But the rules are the rules. From Nigeria's perspective, we've been given a second chance. Do not, under any circumstance, mess this up. The Super Eagles of Nigeria cannot afford to screw this up. We'll do a better preview and a better deep dive into the fixture as that process, probably on next week's episode, because November 13 is still about a week away from us. But for now, let's pontificate on what the potential squad could be, because the squad list should be out any minute. The squad list should be out this coming week. But who would I like to see in the squad? We are already hearing some early, should I say early team news. Mike the Pundit, shout out to Mike the Pundit, a colleague of mine, superb Nigerian journalist, reports exclusively that barring any late changes, Ebenezer Akinsanmiro is set to earn his first Super Eagles call-up during this month's international window. He played the full game versus Torino on Sunday, winning 8 out of his 9 duels, and he had a 7.0 rating. Ebenezer Akinsanmiro has been fantastic. He's been fantastic. I think he's on loan at Pisa from Inter Milan. Former Remo Stars or Beyond Limits player. Call back to TCC. So if you want to see the next Ebenezer Akinsanmiro, go and start watching TCC right now. But yeah, Ebenezer Akinsanmiro has been incredible. And Nigeria are famously short of midfielders at the moment. We went into the do or die double header against Benin Republic and Lesotho with Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, Frank the Tank Onyedika, and Alassane Yusuf as our only midfield options. We have always been bare bones in midfield. Bare bones. So I think Ebenezer Akinsanmiro, who has been incredible in the Serie A this season, has been solid. I think that it will be a good idea, even if it's not to come in and start, because again, these are do or die affairs. But it's good to have know that you have such bodies on the bench, and gives the coach a lot more options and a lot more flexibility. Can decide at any time to switch the midfield to a midfield 3. But you couldn't do that in the last round of games because we only had 4 midfielders. So if you play 3, then you don't have any option on the bench whatsoever. So even speaking of midfield options, Raphael Onyedika is looking like he's going to be back. In fact, he's already back in training, back fit, and might be fully fit before November 13th. So I'll get Onyedika in the squad as well, along with Ebenezer. Let us show up our midfield. But one more man has been in form and might be looking to force the hand of eggshell, and that's Paul Onuachu. Does Paul Onuachu deserve a recall to the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Remember, for the entirety of last year and the year before, Onuachu was the de facto consensus backup to Victor Osimhen before the emergence of Boniface and now Tolu Arokodare currently holds that spot, and even Ako Adams more recently. But for a while it was Paul Onuachu, and in many people's opinion, when he had the chance to prove himself as a worthy backup, he didn't take it. So I think lots of people are kind of maxed out on Paul Onuachu, but especially with the fact that Tolu Arokodare is currently in the squad, is in better form for the Super Eagles, and they are kind of similar. I don't think, from lots of people's perspective, you look at it like, we don't need 2 of these guys. We don't need 2 skyscrapers in the box. One of them is fine. And I understand that logic, but Onuachu has also been great lately. So maybe not for this November international window. Let's see what happens in March. Maybe if we qualify for the intercontinental playoffs, let's see what happens in the March window. And if we don't, then we'll play friendlies in March, and definitely then call up Onuachu. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Should Onuachu get his chance once again with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, or has that ship sailed, in your opinion? Let me know down in the comments. I will be waiting. And so, wishing the Super Eagles all the very best of luck in one more potential Super Eagles change. Maduka Okoye is back in action as well. Maduka Okoye is back, pretty boy, and he's not really been a part of the Super Eagles since the 2019 AFCON. And no, not 2019, 2021, the 2021 AFCON, I beg your pardon, where he made that it's even hard to call it an error because it was hardly an error. But he considered that goal against Tunisia in the round of 16 and Nigeria was knocked out, lost by a goal to nil. And since then, it's pretty much been frozen out of the team. And now having served a 2-month suspension with his club Udinese for his involvement in a betting scandal, he's back in action and Udinese threw him straight back into the fray. He's reclaimed his starting spot. He kept a clean sheet over the weekend against Ademola Lookman's Atalanta. And with all of our current Stanley Wabali worries, I would say throw Maduka Okoye in there. I'm very okay with Maduka Okoye starting the game against Gabon, and if we advance to the final, starting that one as well, depending on how he does against Gabon. So those are my thoughts on the Super Eagles. We'll have more next week when we have the squad list to dissect. But right now, it's time to look at the coupon busters, ladies and gentlemen. Who caught your ticket this weekend? Quite a number of teams. Not really any of the top teams, if you think about it. Arsenal won. United drew. I don't think anybody... Yeah, maybe United fans would have thought they would go to Nottingham Forest and win, but United win away at Nottingham Forest is not a safe bet anyway. Chelsea won. Liverpool won, which in a way is an offset nowadays. Everybody else was supposed to won in the top leagues. So I will get to the ones that did not win. Don't worry, I'm here with you because I also suffered the same thing. Barcelona won, Real Madrid won, AC Milan won, Inter won, Juventus won, Atletico Madrid won. The favorites in the top league, Bayern Munich won. So the favorites in the top leagues won. But who did not win? Fiorentina stepped forward. Fiorentina lost by a goal to nil at home to Lecce on Sunday. There was literally nothing you could have staked on in that game that would have come through. Fiorentina to score one goal, mba. Fiorentina win or draw, mba. Fiorentina 1 up, Fiorentina straight win, Fiorentina 2 up, Fiorentina win either half, Absolutely nothing. Over 1.5, And I'm sure that I don't see how anybody escapes this Fiorentina. Same thing, Monaco. Monaco losing 1-0 at home on Saturday to Paris FC. Moses Simon with the goal, so I'm not hating on my Nigerian brother. I'm glad to see my fellow Nigerians, doing exploits in the Obodo, France over there. But very much to the detriment of my financial health, I'll tell you that. Napoli nil, Como nil. That one also hurts. It hurts. I have no words. Same thing with Galatasaray transfer sport. So those are the coupon busters that I spotted this week. Let me know who caught your own tickets in the comments. I will be waiting, I'll be checking, and I'll be anticipating. So I mentioned Arsenal earlier. Arsenal, another win, another clean sheet down the road. This is not a glazed Arsenal show, so I'm not going to get into all of that. However, there's a conversation that is on the internet now that I want to bring to the pod. To bring it to the pod. Can Arsenal do it? Not to win the league. I think they will win it. I think they can do it. I think they will win it. But this is not about the league. Arsenal so far have only considered 3 goals this season. 3 goals considered in the Premier League so far. 3. 1, 2, 3. It begs the question because mathematically speaking, they are now on course to match or surpass Chelsea's record for the least goals considered in a single Premier League season. Chelsea considered 15 goals in the 2004-2005 Premier League season when Jose Mourinho won the league in his very first attempt. Now it's looking like Mikel Arteta not only wants to win the league, but break the unbreakable record. Can it be done? Me say no. Because even though the maths supports it right now, what Arsenal are doing, as great as it is unsustainable. I don't think Arsenal are going to go through an entire season not considering at least 15 goals. I don't even think that record might. I think that by December, they might have even considered 15 goals. Now we're in November already. But when you look at the amount of teams that they've not played yet, they've not played Spurs yet, which doesn't count for much. They've not played Chelsea yet, which you can also say doesn't really count for too much.
Um, they have quite a number of big teams left to play, and even apart from the big teams, this is a very top heavy league. Every single Premier League team has decent offensive firepower. I'm willing to say, no matter how well Arsenal defend, and they defend pretty well, it is impossible to go through an entire Premier League season today, no matter how good you are defending, and concede 15 goals in 38 games. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. You will need an immense amount of luck. You will need a very strong squad, which Arsenal have. Let me remind you. Because with Gabriel and Saliba, they are starting centre-backs. When they are not there, guess what? Nkapie and Mosquera easily filling. If Timber is not there, Ben White. If Calafiori is not there, Luis Kelly. Either of those back fours could, if those were two different back fours, they would each be the best back fours in the Premier League, first and second. No doubt about that. But will you still go an entire season and not concede up to 15 goals? I wholeheartedly doubt it. And I don't think it can be done. But lots of people seem to think so. Arsenal fans, and even maybe some neutrals. But I genuinely believe that Chelsea record is the most impossible record to break. You will see another invincible before you see another team that concedes 15 goals in an entire season. It's just not. It's a difficult ask in a league where quality is busting at the seams. In a league where everybody is good, at least offensively. I don't think it can be done. But let me know what you think in the comments. While I move on to the next story, keeping it P as the Premier League. Wolves have parted ways with Vítor Pereira. Why am I talking about this? Because the circumstance is very, very interesting. Muy interesting. I'm sure that's not a real word. Anyway, Tolu Arokodari's Wolverhampton Wanderers have parted ways with manager Vítor Pereira following a dismal start to the season that has seen the club fail to secure a single victory in their opening 10 league matches. This decision came after a humbling 3-0 defeat to Fulham on Saturday, which marked Wolves' 8th loss of the campaign. The result leaves the club rooted to the bottom of the table, 8 points adrift of safety, according to the official statement by Wolves. Wolves confirm Vítor Pereira has been sacked due to, quote, results and performances falling below acceptable standards, end quote. All 8 of Pereira's backroom staff have also left the club. Chimo. Under 21 head coach James Collins and under 18 head coach Richard Walker will take training for now. And so tensions boiled over following last week's home 3-2 defeat to Burnley, yada yada yada. Anyway, the interesting part about this is that Vítor Pereira was a Premier League manager of the season nominee last season. Deep that. And why? Because he took over a Wolves team that did not win any of their first 10 games of the season and steered them away from relegation waters. And they finished the season pretty comfortable, actually. He turned the ship around. And what did they do? They rewarded him with a nice bumper contract at the start of this season, even though they were already losing by the time they gave him that contract. But it was a show of faith that, hey, we are loyal to you. We believe in you. We trust you. You saved us last season. We believe that you will keep it going this season. Well, it did not work that way. And now, according to Ben Jacobs, more on Vítor Pereira's Wolves sacking. Pereira was informed this morning of the news. He would not be paid out for his entire contract due to a clause when he signed his new deal. Understand Pereira regrets not leaving at the start of the season, but the manner in which Wolves finished last campaign persuaded him to continue despite fearing the squad lacked quality following high-profile departures, including Matheus Cunha to Manchester United. Pereira, who was nominated for Manager of the Year last season, is hoping to stay in the Premier League. And what we are learning in the Premier League is that managerial positions are revolving door. So if he's hoping to stay in the Premier League, he probably will, something will open up soon. Who knows? Something will open up soon. But it does seem sad that he's not going to get a massive payout that most coaches get when they get fired. And this is to wonder who are your advisors, who are your representatives, who is his agent, who negotiated that, or was it just goodwill? Because how do you become a manager of the year candidate for Wolverhampton Wanderers and then go on to sign a contract with a clause that says you get nothing when you get fired? You and your 8 backroom staff members. That's ridiculous to me. It just seems like poor business. But hey, I'm not counting nobody's pockets, and I don't even know Pereira's exact situation. So let me stay out of Vítor's business. Best of luck to him. I do wish he's able to bounce back and land exactly on his feet. Let's pivot real quick into the UEFA Champions League. Tuesday, Wednesday, action returns, and on Tuesday, two big fixtures stand out, and that's Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich and Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Also on Tuesday, Napoli Eintracht Frankfurt in the early kickoff. The other early kickoff will see Slavia Prague host Arsenal, which I think Arsenal would another win, another clean sheet. That's what the Gunners do. Atletico Madrid at home to Royal Union Saint-Gilloise. Bodo Glimt versus Monaco. Looks like it's going to be a very high scoring game. I expect Atletico Madrid to win against their Belgian visitors. Juventus versus Sporting Club Portugal. I think Juventus should win, but that game might have a lot of goals as well. Real Madrid versus Real Madrid going away to Anfield to take on Liverpool, and Liverpool are missing quite a lot of players. The WMPs for that game, that's will not play. Players that are confirmed that will not play on Tuesday. Alisson for Liverpool with a groin injury. Stefan Bajcetic would not have played anyway with an hamstring injury. Chambers with a back injury. Jeremy Frimpong with an hamstring injury. Alexander Isak with a groin injury. Curtis Jones has a knock. Giovanni Leone with a knee injury. Kante with an hamstring injury. Williams is inactive at the moment. So those are Liverpool's WMPs. For Real Madrid, it's Alaba with a foot injury, Dani Carvajal with a knee injury, Ada Goulet, who has been pretty good this season with an ankle injury, and Antonio Rudiger with a thigh injury. So lots of injuries, but we are still expecting a top clash. The mother of all storylines, Trent Alexander-Arnold, returns just a few months after stabbing the hearts of Liverpool fans with his red dagger, with his Spanish dagger. He returns to Anfield, of course, to hostile reception. I can't wait to hear the blues, which I'm sure will be there. But I also hope, I beg, I pray. You see, when I woke up this morning, I had a direct line to God. Direct line. And God asked me, my son, what do you want? I said, Lord, I could have asked for anything. I could have asked for the US to not invade Nigeria like they plan to. I could have asked for riches, wealth, women, flat stomach, Chelsea winning the Premier League. But what did I ask for? I asked for Trent Alexander-Arnold to score a 97th minute winner for Real Madrid against Liverpool on Tuesday. 1-0 in a game where Liverpool dominates but can't score. In a game where Liverpool dominates proceedings and miss chance after chance after chance after chance. And Arnold scores a 97th minute free kick to win the game from 30 yards and celebrates in front of the cup end, takes his shirt off, flexes his muscle, speaks English, says suck my balls in Spanish. That's what I want. That's what I asked God for. Imagination won't kill me, right? But let's see. It might come true if wishes were horses. Anyway, I'm looking forward to Liverpool. Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Also, Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich. Big game. Bayern Munich have been in great form. PSG have not. Bayern Munich started the season like a house on fire, winning every single game, surpassing AC Milan's record for 13 consecutive wins to start a new season across all competition. Bayern Munich have just been incredible off the back of Harry Kane's fantastic form as well. Paris Saint-Germain, on the other hand, have been struggling. They needed a late 94th minute, last kick of the game goal from Gonzalo Ramos to beat OGC Nice in the French League on over the weekend. I'm leaning towards Bayern Munich this time around, but it might end in a draw. Anyway, Olympiacos versus PSV is the last game of the Tuesday. Speaking of games nobody will be watching. No, that's not the last game of Tuesday. And then Tottenham versus Copenhagen as well. So Tottenham should win that one. They are at home, but Copenhagen are also a pretty good team. On Wednesday, Paphos Villarreal in Cyprus is the early kickoff, while the other one in Azerbaijan is Karabakh versus Chelsea. My darling Chelsea should be able to win away at Karabakh. But knowing Chelsea, you can beat Tottenham one week and lose to Karabakh the next. Ajax versus Galatasaray. Victor Osimhen with another chance to start. But I'm expecting him to score as many goals as humanly possible. He's already started his Champions League campaign like a house on fire. 3 goals in 2 games so far, and leading them to those 2 wins against Liverpool and Bodo Glimt. So might be looking for a 3rd consecutive win in the Champions League against an Ajax team that are quite frankly not very good. Benfica versus Bayer Leverkusen promises to be exciting. Jose Mourinho at home to Bayer Leverkusen. Can they get a win? Club Brugge will host Barcelona. FC Barcelona will return to winning ways over the weekend. Will look to build another momentum against Club Brugge. Inter will host Kairat Almaty. So easy win for Inter Milan. Manchester City versus Borussia Dortmund seems like it's going to be a fun encounter, but City should be able to win at home to Dortmund. Marseille, that fixture happens like pretty much every season at this point, or at least every other season. Manchester City versus Dortmund. Marseille Atalanta is also going to be pretty good. Marseille are a very high scoring team. They are quite good. Atalanta can be good. Ivan Juric has not quite matched the exploit of Gianpiero Gasperini. Big shoes to fill for the new manager. And Newcastle will host Athletic Club Bilbao, which is the game I probably will be watching on Wednesday night. Let me know what you'll be watching. I'm very, very interested in it. But at the moment, I'm watching the NBA. And ladies and gentlemen, believe me when I say, this has been the best start to an NBA season in my lifetime. I don't remember being this excited by the opening few games of an NBA season. By the opening 2 weeks of an NBA season. Yeah, the opening nights, paparazzi it always gets me. You watch opening night, you watch probably the next night, and then you calm down a bit. You just catch what you can catch, watch highlights, because the time zone doesn't really favor us in Nigeria. But this one, I don't they miss anything. These games have been really, really good. And here to talk about it and break it all down is the man, the myth, the legend, Tosin Abayomi, with another news with Tosin.
Hi guys, my name is Tosin Abayomi. Welcome to Tosin's Corner on the T&T Talk Sports podcast. A lot of people have been asking where has Tosin been. Obviously, Tunde has been the one holding down the fort, and obviously he's been doing a very, very good job. I want to talk about the NBA. A lot of people know that I'm an NBA junkie. I'm a basketball fan. I'll be giving you updates about the NBA as the season continues. Obviously, we've had about 5 or 6 games in the NBA, and I want to give you a proper breakdown of what to expect in the NBA this season. Let me start by saying that this NBA season is going to be one for the ages, because obviously from the start you know that the stars are here to play, the likes of Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, obviously Victor Wembanyama. They are all having amazing and fantastic starts to the season, and that is due to the fact that the offense has elevated this season. Obviously, there was a lot of clampdown on the defensive aspects in the NBA last season because of a lot of physicality, but this season, maybe due to new broadcast deals with Prime Video and NBC, the referees have actually given a little bit of advantages to the offensive players, and obviously they've gotten better. You can see that the offense is up. You can see that the free throws are up. That is due to the fact that the game is at a very, very high level in terms of skill this season, and it's already showing that this season promises to be one of the best this season. So let's start by looking at the NBA this season, and me start by giving you my breakdown of the Eastern Conference. Before the season started, obviously me and Tunde, we sat down and talked about who are going to be the favorites in the Eastern Conference, who are going to be the favorites in the Western Conference. A lot of people had Cleveland and New York, the two teams that were dominant in the East last season as the favorites to go to the Eastern Conference Finals this season. Well, both teams have not had solid starts. Obviously, the New York Knicks before this recording are at 2-3, which is their under 500, 1-2 lost 3. The Cleveland Cavaliers are basically 500 at 3-3. So these two teams obviously are struggling badly. Even the Orlando Magic, a young team that are promised to do great things, they are 3-4, they are under 500. It's unbelievable because a lot of people expected them to take over that void that will be created by the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers obviously coming down due to injuries to Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum. So at the top of the East to start the season, you have the Chicago Bulls with a sparkling 5-0 record as at the time of this recording, obviously. And the Chicago Bulls, I don't think this fairy tale is going to last for a long time because of the inexperience of their squad. But it's a good start for the Chicago Bulls, a team that is usually in the playing for the most part, led by Josh Giddey and Nikola Vucevic. A lot of people made a lot of jokes about Josh Giddey and the fact that the Chicago Bulls traded him for Alex Caruso, and Alex Caruso played an important role as the Oklahoma City Thunder went on to win the title last season. So, but Josh Giddey obviously got a contract extension this season and has been incredible. He has been incredible to start the season. He's shooting very, very well from the 3-point line, which a lot of people felt was his major weakness in his game. And obviously the combination between him and Matisse Buzelis obviously is incredible. Obviously they are still even missing one of their key players in Kobe White due to injuries. And so you look at this Chicago Bulls team and you say that yes, they are very, very young, but they are a team on the come up. Maybe they need one or two pieces to get to where they need to get to. Look at the Philadelphia 76ers, the team featuring a very, very young and promising backcourt of Tyrese Maxey and rookie VJ Edgecombe. Joel Embiid has not been at his best this season. Obviously, he just came back from a massive knee surgery, but he's doing really, really well. He's doing really, really well in terms of mentoring the young guys that are coming up, and the Philadelphia Sixers have had a very, very fantastic start to the season. Vichy Edgecombe, a lot of people did not believe that he's going to be like the front runner for the Rookie of the Year talks, but somehow he is. He's playing incredibly well from a very, very dynamic backcourt with Tyrese Maxey, and the Philadelphia 76ers are flying. Another team that has been doing very, very well is the Milwaukee Bucks, led by Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, they struggled in recent weeks, in recent days, but Giannis has been dominant in the games he has played before the loss against Sacramento Kings. He's been putting up 30, 15, and 5 assists, dominant on both ends of the court. And obviously, the Detroit Pistons are doing incredible things with Kate Cunningham and Jalen Duran. So, when you look at the log, and obviously I made my predictions, I feel that the East is still very, very young. The NBA is still very, very young this season, but I think some teams are here to stay, and I see Milwaukee Bucks as one of those teams that a lot of people may have had them grow up, but I think they're going to do great things. I feel the Philadelphia Sixers, because of the youth in their team, and obviously they still have Jared McCain coming back, and also they have another deputy, very, very good guard in Quentin Grimes. I think the Philadelphia Sixers, 76ers, are also going to do great things. And the Miami Heat, you can't write up the Miami Heat. So I still stand by some of my predictions. I believe that the Knicks and the Cavaliers are going to get things together. And the rest of the pack, obviously, I see the Chicago Bulls. I don't think they retain the number one position, but I think they do a very, very good job in terms of getting to the postseason. I think they finally get into the postseason and they leave that playing picture this season. To the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously, as at the time of this recording, I just finished their game against the New Orleans Pelicans, so they are now 7-0 to start the season. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been dominant from start to finish, from start of this season, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has been incredible, even though they are missing their second star in Jalen Williams with a surgery, but the Oklahoma City haven't looked as if they missed a beat. They've been very, very dominant. The next team that has been doing very, very well is obviously the San Antonio Spurs, led by Victor Wembanyama. This is a young team, obviously led by Victor Wembanyama, Dylan Harper, Stephen Kasu, Devin Vassell. This is a very, very young core, and they are doing incredible things. They are 5-0, and they look like a team that is really, really young and very, very hungry for success. So I think San Antonio have already started showing signs of taking the next step in their development. The Portland Trail Blazers, obviously, even though there was a betting scandal that suspended their coach Chauncey Billups, that is a team that is also set for the next step. The Los Angeles Lakers with Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are showing that they can do great things also. So those teams are obviously occupying the top of the table in the Western Conference, but I feel there are some teams that are also going to get things together over the course of the season. Obviously, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, we have the Los Angeles Clippers and the Denver Nuggets and the Houston Rockets. These teams are also going to come up as time goes on. The Golden State Warriors, a lot of people are high on them. I'm not really high on them. I feel that like this is a very, very aging squad, and even though they got a massive win to start the season against the Los Angeles Lakers, I was not someone who was buying the hype of the Golden State Warriors. So I think that this is going to be a very, very difficult season for. This is going to be a very, very difficult season for the Golden State Warriors, and they will obviously be struggling to get into the postseason picture. Now let's look at the way the award race is obviously shaping up this season. I think without a shadow of a doubt, the MVP race is going to be between Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And these four players obviously are players that are not of American heritage. Obviously, 3 of them from Europe and 1 of them from Canada. I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has a very, very high chance to repeat as NBA MVP, obviously, and that will come down to the fact that he has incredible performances. But the second thing will be about his record. The Thunder are already at 7-0. They are steamrolling. They are winning. The game against the New Orleans Pelicans, it didn't really competitive from the start. They won by over 25 points. This is a team that is the machine is well oiled. They do everything well. They are competent on defense. McDaddy did not ask these guys playing incredible basketball. And to be fair, the referees give them the benefit of the doubt in terms of hand checking and where their hand placement is in terms of defense. So I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be a favorite for this award. Nikola Jokic obviously will put up the stats, but I don't think that his scoring will be that much this season. And Denver is looking like a team that they are just gearing towards postseason run. So another player obviously that will be very, very involved in this race will come from the Eastern Conference, and that will be Giannis taking advantage of the problems in the Eastern Conference and saying, you know what, I'm going to put up monster numbers. And if the Milwaukee Bucks are projected to maybe be in the play-in or maybe the 6th seed, make it to a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, Giannis also put his name there. He's been having monster performances, and it's about time maybe he doesn't get overlooked. And obviously the Los Angeles Lakers with Luka Doncic. Luka has been favored for this award for several years, but obviously there's been a lot of media bias against him, and the now that he's in a large market, maybe things start to favor him if the Los Angeles Lakers, especially without LeBron James, are able to pull out a rabbit in the hat and make a 3 seed, which a lot of people did not expect them to do. I think Luka will have his name in the hunt, and the San Antonio Spurs, obviously with Victor Wembanyama. Victor is having a solid season. A lot of people expected them to be in the playing, and if they are able to make a top 6 seed, Victor's name will obviously be there. The defensive player of the year, I don't think there's much debate for that award. I think Victor Wembanyama should obviously scoop that award in remarkable fashion. I think there's no discussion about what anybody can do well against Victor Wembanyama. It's in terms of blocks, he's going to be, as long as he plays 65 games, he's going to have the most blocks on the team. That is a given. He's going to have the most blocks on the team by far. So I don't see a case whereby anybody comes close. And obviously, in terms of rim protection, altering shots, and what the team is going to look like in terms of their defensive identity, the Spurs are good. Victor Wembanyama is going to be very, very crucial to that. So he's going to accumulate all the stats in terms of the defensive identity of the team. The next award will probably be about the Rookie of the Year, and the Rookie of the Year is going to be a very, very competitive race. A lot of people felt that Cooper Flag was just going to come in and dominate from start to finish, but obviously the way the Dallas Mavericks are structured, with the lack of spacing, I feel that Cooper Flag is starting to show that he's going to struggle a little bit on this team. And maybe I still believe he's a very, very good player, but maybe he's not just up to the hype that a lot of people expected from him. So I think Cooper Flag is going to struggle mightily, and he's still going to put up good numbers, but I do not think that for some certain reason, he may not be the favorite for the Rookie of the Year. There are a lot of good rookies in this set. We have to talk about someone like Jeremiah Fears with the New Orleans Pelicans. He's doing very, very well, especially in that guard role. He's doing great things. Another person will be Cedric Howard with the Memphis Grizzlies. He's someone who doesn't take a lot of bad shots. He's just doing his job, doing very well, knocking out shots, defending like your Konkonepil of the Charlotte Hornets. He's doing incredibly well also. So, and let us not forget VJ Edgecombe, who's already leading the rookies in scoring, and he's already starting member of the backcourt in the Philadelphia 76ers. So that is it for the Rookie of the Year. Is another award that is going to be very, very highly contested. Is going to be the most improved player. I want to say something about the most improved player, because a lot of people say that Victor Wembanyama should be the most improved player. I do not see it that way, because you can't be a number one pick and start hustling for the most improved player award. Most improved player award is an award for players about improving. It's about improving, like a lower ranked player, a player that is undrafted that happens to be the hub of the team. So that's something that people should look towards. All the conversations about Victor Wembanyama for most improved player is not something I'm buying. Obviously, I think most improved player will be between Josh Giddey. Obviously, he's a former top pick, but obviously due to the challenges he has faced with the trade, and another player that should be in that conversation is Danny Avdia of the Portland Trail Blazers. He has become their best player, their offensive hub on the team. So I think Danny Avdia is the next player that should be in conversation for the most improved player award. And the other awards, like the Coach of the Year, I think Mike Daigneault is obviously favorite to win the NBA Coach of the Year. But time will tell as the season progresses. They are very, very good coaches on either side. I think JJ Redick is somebody that will be in the conversation for the Coach of the Year, and obviously San Antonio Spurs boss Mitch Johnson will also be in that conversation for the Coach of the Year. For the Clutch Award, obviously there's still a lot in the season to go, but Jalen Brunson, Luka Doncic, this usual suspects will be there, but we need to see how the season plays out. And that is my preview of the NBA for the season. Obviously, from next week, we'll be giving much more detailed conversations about the team. We'll be highlighting certain teams in the NBA, looking at their strengths and their weaknesses, and obviously their performances. Thank you so much for listening to Tosin's Corner on the T&T Talk Sports podcast. I'll be getting across to you same time next week. See you.
Thank you very much, Tosin, for that update, giving us insights. Tosin's mind is a very, let me use the word wonderful place. You don't want to get lost in there. But it's basketball takes, you can always count on those. So thank you very much. This, of course, brings us to the end of the episode because it's been an hour. Thank you very much for rocking with us. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. We see what you are doing with the YouTube shorts. We see what you are doing for us on TikTok. We see what you are doing for us on Instagram and all of our social media platforms. Thank you. Anyway, you see the T&T Talk Sports show content, please engage. Please tell somebody about it because I know you like it. And if you like it, there's a strong chance the next man will like it too. They just need to hear about it. So thank you very much for being good disciples. My name is Tunde Young, aka Himothy. Until next week. Bye-bye.